All right, everybody. So last session we did 3 new chords. So we can do Can't Help Falling in Love with You in the key of D major, right? So that's the original key of the song. So if we learn it like that, then you can play along with the real thing and not even skip a beat. So the first of the 3 is F sharp minor, not too difficult, but then the other 2 are quite a bit more difficult than any chords you've done so far. So a lot more difficult, to be honest. So do be patient with them, but they do come after a while, and there's a couple of different ways you can do them as well, so we'll get into that. So first of all, F sharp minor is basically like A major, which you know already. Come across that, plus your 3rd finger, 2nd fret on the 3rd string down. So there it is there. So in context, if you're playing D major like this, so middle one with the 1st finger, then middle finger, middle string in the chord, I should say, being held down by your 1st finger. Middle finger goes over that, 3rd finger goes under it, all behind the 2nd fret. There's D major. Then all you need to do is slide back your 1st finger by 1 fret, and there's F sharp minor. So, wise men say. So there's the next one. So this is a tough one, B minor. Now, as I pointed out there, all this really is just A minor up by 2 frets. Because, of course, you can't just take this up by 2 frets because now we've left behind these ones, right? So they need to be brought up by 2 frets as well. So A minor, A sharp minor, B minor. Okay, so first off, this is just one way of doing it now. We can bar, so that's called barring when you're holding down multiple strings at the same time. With your 1st finger, go across like this and try to roll your finger back like this so your nail is pointing up this way, so it's on its side like that. Make sure it's parallel to the fret and right up to the fret, okay? And then, if you can, get your 3rd finger or your little finger, whichever works, on the 4th fret of the top string. Now, but to make it a little bit easier, what you can do is, because you've got this note here and this note here are the same, so by taking away one of those, you're not really detracting from the chord at all. The chord still has the same notes. But problem is you can't just leave it open like that, because now we're adding that G note into the chord, which makes it a different chord. So what you can do instead is just bring your barring finger up to the point where it touches that string. So you just mute it all together. So that way you can just strum it and not worry about that. Okay? Now, as well as that, since if you're doing it that way, your middle finger is stronger, so you could just do it this way. So hold it down and make sure that your middle finger is not holding it down. We don't want this either. That'll be a D6. So in other words, with B minor, if this string is not being held down on the 4th fret, it has to be muted, okay? So mute, there's B minor. But do give this one a go anyway. So bar across 2nd fret, bottom 3 strings, and then the top one on the 4th. Because, this note here is not completely redundant, because the chord does sound a bit more full when it's included. So then, in the bit Like a River Flows, what we've got then is F sharp minor again. Like a river flows. C sharp 7. Now, where this comes from is we've seen C7, so there's C, there's C7, so C sharp 7, so sharp just means 1 up from it, will be all of this taken up a fret. But again, we can't just do this because now these notes have been left behind, so we need to take these all up 1 fret as well. So that's one way of doing it. Again, bar it off to the side like that, or you could use your middle finger, again, just to, bit of extra strength, and then your little finger or your 3rd finger 1 fret up on the bottom string like that. Or another way, if you really don't like this barring business, what you can do as well, now I don't really recommend this way of doing it because it's a bit of you're kind of cramming your fingers in a little bit, but it does work, is you're coming at it from an F sharp minor, okay? You see that there? What you can do is just draw these 2 fingers back by a fret, keeping this one behind the 1st fret as well, and then adding your little finger onto the 2nd fret there. So there's like a river flows surely to the sea. Okay? Or you could just use your middle finger across the top three, third finger or little finger, whichever feels more comfortable on the second fret. Okay, so I'll send on the chords and lyrics there as well, so you can practice the chords in context, and as well the little play-along video that goes with it too. So give those a go, and as I said, those are quite a bit more difficult than the ones you've come up against previously. But if you get the hang of them, it doesn't, for our intents and purposes anyway, it doesn't really get much more difficult than that. So if you can master those ones, then you're really onto something. And we're a little bit beyond basic at that point, so that's a really good step in the right direction. So see you get on with it, and I'll see you next time.